This story is witness. It is protest. It is critique. But mostly it is an assertion that one is and has a will to live despite it all. But where is the love? Is there love in this text? We could point to maternal love, which is achingly absent throughout. Offred's daughter is a deep wound. Her absence, stolen from her mother, resonates deep throughout the entire novel. We could point to the Quaker resistance, pages 246 to 47, where we hear about Quaker couples working to rescue women. That is definitely love. It is the resistant, redemptive sort of love that we can be proud of. But love is kind of rendered pointless in this novel. In fact, Offred reflects on love in the before time. On page 225, "Love," said the commander. "That's better. That's something I know about. We can talk about that." "Falling in love?" I said, "falling into it. We all did then, one way or another. How could we have made such light of it? Sneered even. After all, it was for us, frill, a whim. It was, on the contrary, heavy going. It was the central thing. It was the way you understood yourself. If it never happened to you, not ever, you would be like a mutant, a creature from outer space. Everyone knew that. Falling in love," we said. "I fell for him. We were falling women. We believed in it. This downward motion, so lovely like flying, and yet at the same time so dire, so extreme, so unlikely. God is love," they once said, but we revised that, and love, like heaven, was always just around the corner. The more difficult it was to love the particular man beside us, the more we believed in love, abstract and total. We were waiting always for the incarnation, that word made flesh. Offred is critiquing a world in which love itself has become the thing sought after, but not in the sort of interpersonal and broken and generous and repentant and ultimately redemptive way that we might expect, but love more as an abstract ideal that will somehow make me feel wonderful and fulfilled. Did you catch that? The more difficult it was to love the particular man beside us, the more we believed in love, capital L, abstract and total. That there was this thing waiting just around the corner. And with that description of love, perhaps it is better to forget about the whole thing altogether. Because I think as readers in 2020, as people who are hopefully thinking more and more about what God's love might look like, or what love that is active and resistant and redemptive might look like in this world, Offred's description of love in the before time seems flighty and like a lie. God is love, but love is not God. There is a difference there. And that is Offred's point. So where is the love in this story? Is there any love? I started out this section on The Handmaid's Tale by suggesting that how we receive this story matters tremendously. And I think that might actually be the question to where the love is. Maybe love is not in this story, but love is what is created when we as readers receive this story well. Are we able to hear its witness to the pervasive objectification and manipulation of people? Its critique of how we belittle and undermine? Its protest against the silencing and the denial of so much suffering? And in hearing this, can we receive it with love? With the repentance that love requires? There is no way forward in this book. The conference 150 years later is in some ways the worst part of the book, because there they are, academics like me at a conference, and the woman academic is the one organizing the social events. The word little is used to describe the events that she is in charge of. She is the one taking care of the crumbs and introducing the big name Cambridge expert who is going to give the keynote lecture. Offred's own story, then, is talked about as a historical document, fragmentary, and in fact, it is even belittled as it is contrasted against the tedious and painstaking mail work of transcribing the tapes. And of course, they criticize her turn of mind. It's found wanting because, it would have been so much better had this Offred character left us more information on the political and socioeconomic structures of Gilead. The end is filled with sexist joking, light, subtle, but there. Women still in subservient positions. Offred's own voice. Heard, detached from, critiqued, weighed, considered, and closed to applause, not for Offred, but for the academic who's worked so hard in transcribing her tapes. How do we respond to Offred's story? What do we offer Offred in response? Do we offer love? Do we offer the love of solidarity, of presence, of shared horror? I think we can. I think when we hear stories like this we learn from them, we have the opportunity to sit together with it. And that's the first step, because like I said, the future isn't imagined in this book. There is no answer. There's no other way that might show us what love looks like. But perhaps it is in that solidarity, in that sitting together, in that regretting all the ways we've gotten it wrong, in that repenting for all that we've done and all that's been done. Maybe in that space, knowing that the story is heard and that we carry it together, maybe that in itself is the very first act of love for a new world, for a new order. And that shouldn't be a surprise. That's what we're told about God in Jesus. That's exactly what he does. So maybe that's what a book like this is calling us to do, to learn to be a little bit more like the Jesus we follow, like the God we claim. And to step in and sit down among the ashes and the suffering, and to say, I'm here. And to say, I hear. And to say, we're carrying this together now.